Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Ralf Rangnick press conference reaction ahead of Manchester United's game against Aston Villa tomorrow at Villa Park. I'm going to give you all the questions he was asked and I'm going to give you his responses to them questions. So anyway, this was the first question. Good afternoon, Ralf. I'm just wondering, having played Villa on Monday, whether it makes it harder playing them so soon, or do you go in with an advantage having won on Monday? So Ralf Rangnick's response to that question was, well, at least we know from experience what the challenge will be and how they are playing. We also know that we were able, in a tight game, to beat them. Now it's about showing the best possible performance, bringing the best possible players and best performance on the pitch in order to win the game at Villa Park. So that was his response to that first question. This was the second question. You've been here for 6 weeks now. What are your impressions on the Premier League? Is it the toughest? Have you been surprised by anything? Ralph's response to that question was, no, I wouldn't say it surprised me. Obviously, having no winter break, at least that was what I had expected, but since we had a couple of games called off due to COVID, we had a break, but in that break we couldn't train, unfortunately, because we had to close Carrington for a couple of days. In general, it is as expected. What surprised me a little is the way the teams in the lower ranks of the league are again very physical, tactically very astute, playing in a very organised way. This is different. In this league, even against the bottom teams, it's never easy. The top teams can lose those games, but in Germany, if Bayern Munich or the other top teams in the Bundesliga are playing the bottom teams, out of 10 games, they will normally win 8 or 9. So that was his response to that question. This was the next question. Maguire, Sancho, Ronaldo and Jones missed Monday's game. Will they be available tomorrow? Rangnick's response was, I think they will be available. They only trained yesterday for the first time. Cristiano yesterday, Harry the day before yesterday. We have to wait for the final session this afternoon, but as it seems right now, they should be available for tomorrow. The next question was, you said after the game on Monday that Dean Henderson missed out through illness, but you also said that he requested a loan move a couple of weeks back. What is the situation? Will he be staying at United this month? So Rangnick's response was, well, I told him that I would like him to stay because he's a fantastic goalkeeper. In training yesterday, he had another couple of fantastic saves. I really like to have him on board as one of 3 top goalkeepers. I can fully understand that he wants to play because he's in an age where as a goalkeeper he should regularly play. On the other hand, we are still in 3 competitions. We need the 3 goalkeepers we have right now. I told him that, but I can also on the other hand understand his desire to get game time elsewhere in the Premier League. So that was Ralf Rangnick's response to that question. This was the next question that was asked to him. What's the latest on Donny van der Beek? I know you've spoken about his position. What's the latest on him? And could he be allowed to leave this month after all? Rangnick's response was, I mean, it's the same situation as it is with Dean. I'm glad to have him in the squad. He can come in at last 15 to 20 minutes against Villa in the cup game, and he did well. He's always performing on a high level in training. For him, I have a conversation 2 weeks ago after training exactly about that. I told him I would advise him to stay until the end of the season, and then of course with the World Cup coming up in winter, he wants to play in the World Cup for his country, and Louis van Gaal obviously told him that in order to be a regular starter for the World Cup, he needs to regularly play for his team. I can understand his desire to play. On the other hand, we have a lot of competition in our squad in exactly those positions. So that was his response to that question. This was the next question. Quite a few times after games recently, you've said you need to get the balance right between defence and offence. What work are you doing to achieve that? Do you feel the players you have are capable of having that balance? So Rangnick's response to that question was, I mean, yes, I was fully aware that this cannot happen overnight. It's a work in progress. I think we have shown that we have conceded fewer goals than a couple of weeks ago, but still, it's also about controlling the game. Obviously, we have taken a few steps, but things can still get better, and that's what we have to work on to find the best possible formation. Obviously, with now playing every 3 days, we have to make sure we not only the best but also the freshest players on the pitch. This means we might even be able to play formations during the game or from one game to the other. As I said, still work in progress, obviously still quite a few things and space for improvement. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. This was the next question. What are those areas to improve specifically? Is it individuals, tactically certain areas of the pitch? So Rangnick's response was, this is a pretty long response. I mean, if you want to control or to dominate games, you can do it in 2 areas. One, how do you play if the other team is in possession of the ball? How proactive and aggressive can you be at the same time without being weak on the counter-attack? The other one is you can gain control when you are in possession of the ball in both areas. I try to work and improve the team, as I said. We've taken a few steps, but not as quickly as I would have hoped or wanted it to be. As coaches, you're normally never patient. You always want to develop teams quicker and faster. Now, in the last couple of weeks and in the future, it's all about results, getting the best possible results out of each game. This is true tomorrow, this will be true on Wednesday when we play Brentford, and it will be true 3 days later when we play West Ham. It's about getting the maximum points, and the rest has to be developed at the same time. So that was his response to that question. So this was the final question of the press conference. Ralf, you've only lost 1 game at Manchester United. I think you'll agree that performances have not been as good as we all expected. Is that down to lack of confidence in the squad, and is that what you've got to try and find? So his final response was, well, as I said, in the first instance, it was about getting results, getting points, and of course we were all disappointed about the home defeat against Wolves. If we'd won that game, we'd have been even more on track than we are now. But as I said, it is about getting results, especially in the league, collecting as many points as we possibly can, and yes, again, it's about the balance. How offensive can we play? How many offensive players can we play without conceding too many goals? and at the same time making sure we don't concede goals, at the same time be dangerous when we're in possession of the ball, either on the counter-attack, in transitional moments, or when we are in possession of the ball ourselves. So that was absolutely everything that was mentioned in the press conference. Now, obviously on my last video, I gave you the news on Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo left Man United training early because Ronaldo picked up a thigh injury. But like I say, Ronaldo is expected to be available for this game against Villa tomorrow. Ronaldo didn't play in Man United's game against Villa in the FA Cup last Monday due to a minor muscular problem. Recently, Ronaldo's been targeted by PSG. The other week, Ronaldo held crisis talks with his agent Jorge Mendes about his future. And earlier on this season, Ronaldo did mention that he's ready to leave Manchester United if the club's next manager isn't to his liking. You know, since Ronaldo re-signed, he's scored 14 goals for Manchester United in all competitions, and he's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears the number 7 shirt and he's got a contract with the club until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, is the highest earner at Man United at the moment. But you know, Ronaldo has saved Manchester United quite a few times since he re-signed. You know, we've been relying on him far too much. You know, disregard Ronaldo, we'd be in a worse position than we're in now. Luke Shaw or Scott McTominay won't be playing any part in this game tomorrow because they are suspended. Diego Dalot is expected to be available for the game tomorrow. Dalot played in the cup game against Villa last Monday. He picked up an injury in the first half. I think it was an ankle injury. Dalot didn't do too bad against Villa in the cup last Monday. Dalot's had some good games, especially under Rangnick. He's appeared to be our first choice right back under Rangnick. Obviously Pogba, he won't be playing any part in this game. Pogba's got a hip injury. Prior to the game against Villa in the cup, Rangnick provided us with an injury update on Pogba. He said Pogba is going to be out for at least another 4 weeks. There's a good chance Pogba will be leaving Man United in the summer. Well, Pogba's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Revert back to the other week, Paul Pogba denied being offered a contract at Manchester United. The Sun came out and said that Man United offered Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract that would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history. There's a good chance Pogba will go to PSG because he has been linked with a move to PSG. Pogba has made 212 appearances since he re-signed for Man United and he's scored 38 times. This season is his 6th season at the club since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Man United paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so he's the most expensive signing at the moment. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under Ferguson, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Eric Bailly, obviously he won't be playing any part in this game. because Eric Bailly is at the African Cup of Nations. The last game Bailly played for Manchester United was the 3-1 win against Burnley. That was the final game of last year. Bailly came off injured in that game, didn't he? And he's injury prone, is Bailly, which is a concern. Eric Bailly is leaving Manchester United this year. Damasio said the other day that Bailly has agreed to join AC Milan. AC Milan want him on loan, and the loan will include either an option to buy or an obligation to buy. Bailly is extremely interested in a move to Italy. Bailly lost his place in our team a while ago because obviously Man United signed Varane last summer, and obviously Lindelof for some reason has been preferred to Bailly. Back in April last year, he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. Bailly's made 113 appearances for Man United in all competitions, and he's only scored one goal. That goal came against Swansea a few years ago. We got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. We paid around 30 million, so Bailly's been at the club for around 6 years. Amad Diallo, he's on international duty. He's leaving Manchester United on loan this month, I have been hearing. Anthony Martial, he's recently been out with injury. So there you go. But in the game tomorrow, I'm expecting Rangnick to make some changes from the cup game against Villa last Monday. Manchester United will be facing Aston Villa for the second time this week. You know, Manchester United knocked Villa out of the FA Cup third round last Monday, 1-0. The only goal of the game came from a Scott McTominay header. You know, it was McTominay's second goal of the season. And McTominay got man of the match. It was a lovely cross by Fred, by the way, to pick out McTominay. It's a shame McTominay can't play in the game tomorrow because he's done well in his last few games. Man United were lucky to beat Aston Villa though in the cup last Monday, because I thought it was a poor performance by Manchester United. You know, Aston Villa dominated the vast majority of the game. You know, they kept the ball well, they passed the ball well, they put Manchester United under pressure. You know, Villa also created some very good chances in the game. And like I've already mentioned, Aston Villa had 2 goals disallowed for offside. Danny Ings had his goal ruled out by VAR because in the build-up Jacob Ramsey was caught in an offside position, and obviously Jacob Ramsey was blocking Edison Cavani. VAR were also checking a possible handball by Danny Ings, and Ollie Watkins, he also had his goal disallowed. So Villa would have been happy with the performance last Monday in the cup. Obviously they'd just been disappointed with the result. Last Monday in the cup was Steven Gerrard's first time at Old Trafford as a manager. You know, Steven Gerrard is Aston Villa's manager. I think he's done a pretty good job at Aston Villa, but Aston Villa have been out of form in recent weeks. When Aston Villa appointed Steven Gerrard in, you know, Steven Gerrard signed a 3.5-year deal. Before Aston Villa, Steven Gerrard managed Rangers. He won the Scottish Premiership with Rangers, so you can say he did well there. And before Rangers, he managed Liverpool's under-18s. Before Steven Gerrard, Aston Villa had Dean Smith. They sacked Dean Smith earlier on this season. Obviously, Dean Smith is now the Norwich City manager. Like I say though, Aston Villa have got some very good players in their team, you know, like I mentioned on the preview and that. Aston Villa have just signed Lucas Digne from Everton. Aston Villa paid around £25 million. Good signing that for Aston Villa, and there's a good chance that Lucas Digne will be making his debut tomorrow. Last week, Aston Villa signed Philippe Coutinho on loan from Barcelona until the end of the season. Coutinho obviously didn't play any part in the cup game last Monday because Coutinho was away, plus he had COVID not so long ago. I think if Coutinho does well during his loan spell at Villa, you know, Villa will get him permanently. Leon Bailey, he's also a good player. Leon Bailey didn't play any part in the cup game last Monday because Leon Bailey's been out with injury. Aston Villa got Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen. They've also got Danny Ings as well of Villa. He's made an impact at Villa, but he is injury prone. Obviously played in the cup game last Monday. Like I mentioned, he had a goal disallowed. I thought Ings was very good when he was at Southampton. I also thought he was very good when he was at Liverpool. Ollie Watkins, he's also a very good player as well. Watkins played last Monday in the cup. He played very well, you know, had a goal disallowed and had a very good chance when he hit the crossbar. That chance though came from Lindelof's mistake, because Lindelof's terrible touch fell straight to Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins had COVID not so long ago. Watkins is a former Brentford player. They've also got Trezeguet. Trezeguet is not available at the moment because he's at the African Cup of Nations. Bertrand Traore, he's not available at the moment for Villa because he's at the African Cup of Nations. John McGinn, he won't be playing tomorrow because he's suspended. John McGinn's a big miss for Aston Villa. John McGinn's one of the best players Villa have got. McGinn played in the cup game last Monday, didn't he? I do recall him having a good chance in the game. Produced a good save from David De Gea. Marvellous Nakamba. Don't think he'll be playing any part in this game because he's still injured. They've got Jacob Ramsey, Douglas Luiz. To be honest with you, I don't really rate Douglas Luiz. They've got Morgan Sanson, Ezri Konsa, you know, he's a very good defender, you know, he played in the cup game last Monday. Tyrone Mings, he's a very good centre-half. Manchester United were linked with him a while ago. They've got Matt Targett and Matty Cash. You know, they both played last Monday in the cup. Matty Cash had a good chance in the game. Was it in the second half? Produced a good save from De Gea. They've also got Ashley Young. Young has been out with a toe injury. Young is in his second spell at Aston Villa. Don't forget, Ashley Young is a former Manchester United player. You know, Young was a long-serving player at Man United. He was at Man United for around 8.5 years. You know, when we let Ashley Young go, we let him go to Inter Milan, didn't we? And Aston Villa's first choice goalkeeper is Martinez. Villa recently lost Anwar El Ghazi. Anwar El Ghazi has joined Everton. They also lost Jack Grealish to Man City, but Villa did receive £100 million, didn't they? Not so long ago, Axel Tuanzebe left Aston Villa because he's joined Napoli on loan. And obviously last summer, Tom Heaton left Aston Villa on a free transfer. You know, he come to Manchester United. Manchester United won this fixture at Villa Park last season 3-1. We came from behind in that game. Villa won the game at Old Trafford in the league earlier on this season, 1-0. That was the first time Aston Villa won at Old Trafford since 2009. Manchester United's next game after Aston Villa is Brentford. That's Wednesday the 19th of January. Obviously that game got rearranged because Man United were supposed to be playing Brentford away on Tuesday the 14th of December last year, but the game got postponed because Man United were hit with a COVID outbreak. But this is a must-win game for Man United against Villa because Man United is sitting 7th in the Premier League at the moment. Now, you know the news on the transfers. You know, this morning I gave you the news on Fabian Ruiz. He said Manchester United are in pole position to sign Napoli midfielder Fabian Ruiz in the summer, according to reports. Man United are seeing Fabian Ruiz as an alternative to Declan Rice. And Napoli have targeted Tottenham's Tanguy Ndombele as a replacement for Fabian Ruiz. Arsenal and Liverpool have also been in for him. Fabian Ruiz's contract at Napoli expires next year. He's made 147 appearances for Napoli. He's been at Napoli for 4 years. Napoli got Ruiz from Real Betis. Napoli paid around £30 million for him. At one point as well, he had a loan spell with Elche. Fabian Ruiz is a central midfielder and he is the age of 25. Man United have also been linked with Denis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Bild said a couple of days ago that Manchester United made an offer to the agents of Denis Zakaria, and Manchester United held talks with Denis Zakaria's representatives. Borussia Mönchengladbach are willing to sell Denis Zakaria for just $5 million this month. And there's been quite a lot of narratives coming out about Tariq Lamptey recently from Brighton. You know, like I mentioned yesterday, it said Manchester United are interested in signing Tariq Lamptey from Brighton. You know, Ralf Rangnick is targeting a new right back. We've got 2 right backs at the moment. Obviously, we've got Diego Dalot and we've got Wan-Bissaka. You know, Brighton value Tariq Lamptey at $40 million. Man United value him at $30 million. So reflecting on that, Man United are $10 million short of Brighton's valuation. Tariq Lamptey is predominantly a right back. You know, he's been at Brighton for 2 years. He's made 31 appearances in the Premier League for Brighton. He's scored 1 goal. He's got a contract with Brighton until 2025. Before Brighton, he was at Chelsea. Arsenal also want him as well. I'm hoping that Manchester United can make a signing this month. Ralf Rangnick will be backed by the Glazers this month, because the other week it said Rangnick got told that transfer funds are available this month. Revert back to the other week, there was reports saying that Rangnick, he's already losing the dressing room at Man United. And, it mentioned that 17 Manchester United players are unhappy. He said Rangnick is already under pressure. Rangnick's been Manchester United's interim manager for 6 weeks now. He's lost 1 game so far as United manager. So he is our interim manager till the end of the season, and it did initially say that Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. If Man United don't get top 4 this season, Rangnick won't get the consultancy role. I'm very sceptical that Manchester United will offer Ralf Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. But like I've said, reflecting on the poor performances under Rangnick, Rangnick's blameless. I think the players are to blame for the poor performances. The players are the biggest problem at Manchester United at this moment in time, because they are not performing. Credit Rangnick, he has made changes since he come in. Earlier on this season he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. And before Man United, he was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. In the summer, Manchester United will appoint a permanent manager. And like I've said, there's a good chance that Mauricio Pochettino will be Man United's next permanent manager. Because reports in France said earlier on this week that Man United are in secret contact with Mauricio Pochettino, despite Pochettino not being Ralf Rangnick's preferred choice to take over at Manchester United. The Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that Pochettino's move to Man United is almost done. It said Pochettino wants Man United and Man United want him, and Pochettino will leave PSG by June at the latest. PSG have got the replacement for Pochettino, and that's Zidane. It said PSG agreed terms with Zidane. There again, Eric Ten Hag, could be Manchester United's next permanent manager. The other week it said Ten Hag was leading the race to become Man United's next manager. A lot of Manchester United fans would like to see him come in. But Man United looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Because we've sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.